Okay.
Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Coaching Collective podcast. Today we are welcomed by Cam Whitters, as you all know now, moved over to the open bodybuilding, competed quite a few times. You probably all know who he is, but essentially today going to run through a bit of a chit chat with him and talk a bit of shit. So Cam, introduce yourself, sort of like what you do, bit of background information, and yeah, take us away.
All right. What I do that's funny. So Cam Whitters, hello. I'm amateur bodybuilder. Okay, so nothing too special, but I full time I'm a coach. So I coach people for a living, I guess you could say. And it's pretty well weird, right? I'm just out here trying to be a good bodybuilder and coach people along the journey, mainly general population. I've kind of stepped out of competitive coaching too hard now, so I want to leave that to the guys that can do it the best. And I prefer to transform general population clients. But I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to do my best to be a good bodybuilder in Australia and document the journey on socials as much as I can. So that's about it.
Yeah, people seem to eat it up. People
Now
love
this
it.
is my first question for you. So I see you post a lot about charged. Is it charged? That's the
Charge,
little.
yeah, charge. Okay, cool,
Is
yeah,
that your brand?
yeah. So that's my brand.
Okay, I thought so.
Ah.
So it's an okay, cool. So we announce it on here.
Well, fuck, there you go. Well, I just saw it all the
That's
time. I was
cool.
like, I'm not sure if he's sponsored by it. It's like it was one of your mates or
Cool.
something like that.
And
But
people getting, yeah, for sure. People getting confused because I don't really post, supplements and things like that on my
yeah.
page a lot. So it's an RTD, right? RTD pre-workout. I
Yep.
saw a gap in the market and I wanted to do. It's actually been I've been making this thing for about 3 years now, and
Hmm.
just because Australia with legalities and also really producing a good formula that works, that tastes good in such a concentrated amount of liquid is hard. So I think
Yep.
we've managed that though. We're in about 60 locations at the moment, Adelaide wide, and then we're also in Perth and Ryderways, but
Okay.
we haven't actively sorted out accounts in interstate or anything yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did kind of our beta launch and it went super well. People are loving it, regardless of me being behind it, because I kind of launched it before I even started promoting it. And,
Yeah.
and then I thought, well, I do a few posts here and there, and people are giving it a go and they're really enjoying it. So it's just B2B at the moment to gyms only. So that's where you can pick it up. Derrimits, Riderways, Anytime Fitness, Flex Fitness. Where else have we got? Like Fitness Factory. So lots of gyms in Adelaide.
Yeah.
But we will be looking to go into state, etc. soon, and multiple flavor. Like we've got another flavor coming in the next month or two, and then another flavor, and then a few different lines. So it's the whole thing. But I don't know about you lads, but I'm a bit separated from the whole mix a million powders per day. I'm a little bit over it. So
Yeah.
I like things that are quick, easy, convenient. I normally just train on coffee, so for me, a little bang
Pick me
with a bit
up.
of citrulline, bit of caffeine is good enough for me, and I like that. And it's good enough for the general pop as well. That everybody's drinking 600 ml cans, carbonated cans before they train. Nobody wants to do that. Their stomachs are bloated, and all of
Yeah.
the other RTDs are not legally compliant in Australia because they've got too much caffeine per mil. So in Adelaide, they all got wiped off the shelf. So we're the only one that is legal.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah. So when they're done, like in the other states in Australia, when stock's up, they probably won't be ordering anything else from America unless it's got new labeling and stuff like that.
Yeah. What I'll do
Okay.
is I'll pull it up because I got it on the website here. So if anyone's watching on YouTube, they can see it. This is right, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, that's the drink. Yeah, the
Yep.
label's actually
The
different.
website's pretty cool as well.
Hmm.
Done a good job, mate. So then obviously product info, so you can see it in here, like Cam was saying. You got a bunch of shit in it. So citrulline glycerol, obviously
Oh,
mostly
mint.
pump matrix. Like you got your caffeine, alpha GPC, focus. Like it looks really good, man. Like you've
I
done
mean,
a pretty
compare.
good
I mean,
job.
yeah, you got to. You also got to compare this to other shots on the market, right? You're talking
Yeah,
they've just got a better alanine, some caffeine, and it does absolutely nothing. And
yeah,
they taste disgusting. But guys and girls still love cranking it before they train because it's convenient. So I mean, I've tried to bring it something a little bit more comprehensive with more flavor,
mm,
and people are enjoying it. Also, it's 120 ml instead of like the average shot being 60, so it's a little bit more sippable. Like you can enjoy it a tad more.
yeah. No, that's mad. That's probably a
That's
good thing
cool.
as well because
That's
I'm the
cool.
same. It's just like you were saying before. It's like you get a 600 ml can or whatever RTD. It's like it's different when you get like the Total Wars and things like that. They're obviously a little bit more fucking hard hitting, but I didn't know
Sure.
they were pulling them off the shelves. And like I try to if I get a Total War, usually if I get an RTD, I literally only do half of it because I reckon
Yeah.
it buckles me way
Yeah.
too much. Like I'm not one of those stim heads. I'm not fucking 500 milligrams of caffeine pre-workout. If I do that, my session's fucking dog shit. So
Yeah, neither. And I think as you get more experience with bodybuilding, you realize more stim doesn't equal better. And if
mhm.
you really want to be able to contract, focus, and promote blood flow, and if you can do those things and stay in the zone, you're going to have a pretty productive session. But
Yeah.
if you're going if you're going to cracked out on like the old Jack 3D sort of shit, then you're just going to be feeling a little bit. You're not going to be able to have actually a good session, or you might push some weight, but I don't know. I think it's more about blood flow and getting a good pump and just
Yeah.
staying in the zone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
for
I go into a
sure.
set and I'm too like wired up, I usually tend to see the set be worse.
Yeah,
Like I got
always.
such a high expectation, such aggression, then you start and it's like, okay, fuck, this
Mm,
just feels the same as last week still, and then my head's just like boggled.
yeah.
So yeah, too much caffeine, no good. Definitely not. Fuck that. But that's mad. How much caffeine is in each one?
200.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, mint.
man.
Fuck, that's good
That's pretty
as.
good actually.
It's
Yeah,
just good. It's just like it should do something for everybody. It's not going to totally stim you out for people that are not used to caffeine. Okay, it's going to be a little bit more of an oomph, but it should do enough for everybody. That mixed with the huperzine and the
Mm,
tyrosine kind of gives this nice
hello. Yeah.
like level-headed balance where you actually get a little bit euphoric as well, so you kind of feel a
Yeah.
little bit better about yourself. And I
Yeah.
actually really like that feature of the product. It just makes you feel a little bit more eager to train, like you just want to go
Yeah.
train. So
It's like
yeah,
that cognition sort of setup as well, which gives you that like focus, I guess, more than anything.
for
That's
sure.
good,
Yeah.
man. Where you do you're not doing you don't sell them individually, do you? You're just doing wholesale.
This one wholesale. I mean, we'll sell boxes for 100 if people want. Like we've done that
Mm,
with to like companies or offices and stuff.
mm,
But at the moment, it's just kind of gyms with that wholesale kind of unit. I mean,
yeah.
100 or more, but we're kind of doing thousands. And then
Yeah.
we are going to be launching. Hopefully, I don't want to really say it because it's
Nah.
not. I don't want to promise it, but we are going to be doing.
Yeah.
Don't know when, but we're going to be doing online. Honestly, man, I want this to be really great in terms of I don't want to go online until supply chain logistics, people are getting deliveries quickly. The problems are, pretty well eradicated at that point when it comes to just like packaging and making sure everything's neat and
Yeah.
well done. Right. I don't want to rush into it just because I can make a few $100. Like
Bucks.
I
Yeah.
genuinely believe in a good product. And if I go online, I know a lot of people will try and be interested and I want to be able to deliver that well. So I'm just taking my time with that.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Might have to give it a shot when next time I'm down in Adelaide,
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
which will
Which
be
will be
when
next
We,
season.
season A.
we could send you guys a little sample box. That's fine.
Thanks, bro.
Uh,
Yeah, Adelaide's our little ritual now. Every season we
yeah.
travel to Adelaide for the show.
Oh, do you actually?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're trying to get our competitors to do it.
we just
Yeah.
like it. Well, we had Michael do Adelaide. Oh, it's the season
Season
you
A.
competed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
season A.
your
Yeah.
season, and Michael won the overall, and it was just like such a nice weekend. So it's like every season now, it's like, yep, fuck it, we're getting clients to go do Adelaide. We'll do Adelaide,
Yeah. It's nice
and
and
we
relaxing.
come down for like 3 days. We just chill out, eat some nice food.
Mm.
Good
Like
Adelaide,
the
venue as well.
venue.
Adelaide's good, brother. Adelaide's
The,
good.
Yeah.
the venue's unreal. The venue's mad with
Yeah.
the nice seats.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just relaxing. But
It's like a
yeah, let's
nice
get
little
into
auditorium.
may as well get into shows now. What is the plan for you moving ahead? What have you currently been doing? I notice that every time you like do a show, right, you go away on a holiday and you come back like more peeled.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Hell. It's like hell, bro. It's like hell, bro.
I'll tell you my secret. So, it's not really my secret. It just works for me, right? So, post show, when everybody kind of kicks back, right, feet up, I'm gonna relax. I'm overworked, whatever. Okay, I tend to do the opposite. So I'll wherever my peds are at or wherever my training's at, I'll and my food, I tend to kind of kick it up a notch, and
Yeah.
I'll go for another like 8 to 10 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks of like a push straight away, because I don't get too affected when it comes to even like let's say blood work or when it just comes to me feeling too fatigued at the end of a prep. I can kind of just like eat more food and push a little bit more and go harder. So I figure if I'm that responsive at that, because it's like at the end of a prep, you're like a sponge to everything.
Mm.
So I go a bit harder and I really kind of rinse myself for another 8 to 12 weeks and I stack on. I mean, last year I went from like 117 to 127, I think I was before I went to Europe, and I was like peeled, and that was in like an 8-week rebound post comp.
Yeah.
So I go hard, and then I kick back from there. So then I would do like a big trip, or I'll just like relax, or get back into working a little bit more, and I would tend to give my body a rest. And it's quite easy to maintain muscle. So I'll just hold on to that weight, and I'll try and eat to the best of my ability, but I won't track macros. I'll come off everything, and I'll just relax, and then I'll start back up. So I've started back up like now about 123, and I'm obviously still fairly lean. So so I'll lose a few kilos, like I'll lose 3 or 4. Or coming back from Europe, I actually dropped a little bit more because it's hard, man. Like when you're over 120 kilos and you're already not fat, to actually maintain that when you're away and you're just eating 2 or 3 meals a day, even if they're big meals, you're doing 12, 15,000 steps a day. It's hot. I keep my training up. So it's kind of almost like I unintentionally put myself into a bit of a deficit and I lose a bit of fat, but it's good because I feel healthier.
Nah, that's good. It's yeah, I feel like yeah, like you said, like it's just it's a different approach as well. But when you did your season A prep, how long did you prep for? Because you didn't prep for very long, did you?
No. That was like, I'd say like 15 weeks probably.
Yeah, and I feel like as well that could be,
and that was like
a difference maker too.
Yeah, and honestly, wouldn't even say it was like a
15-week prep.
Yeah, it was like in and out, right? Where we kind of pulled me down, pulled me back up, pulled me down, pulled me back up. So it was, probably 10 weeks of hard dieting.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I put the cap of the kind of more hard points for me, about 10 weeks of hard dieting. But other than that, it was kind of up, down the whole way through to try and keep me as full as possible, especially when we decided that we were doing open. So
did you decide that from the start or like as you were prepping?
As we were prepping.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so I didn't off season nor plan with Dean or whatever to do open. It was very much like, what are we going to do? I'm not sure if I want to put on this much size or push myself. I didn't really know where I was at. Just come off the comp. It was a big show prior to that, and it was close, so I was just chilling. And then we went into the show, and man, I think we started right, and we're just like, let's just see what your body does. And my weight didn't move, and I was just getting leaner. And I think like 2 weeks in, we were just like, let's just gun for open, bro. Like Dean was like, you got like a few kilos on you, man, of like fat. But we got it. We need to get to 101. I was like 120. And I was like, screw it. Let's just do it, because we could change some things as well, right? So I was maybe hoping to even grow that prep a little bit. Maybe I could train my legs for once in prep. We could do different things with PEDs instead of trying to kind of keep them very low, still never really push high, but maybe just keep them moderate, so I can actually maybe again grow a little bit more through the prep. So that was just it was a decision like a few weeks in, and then we just ran with open.
Yeah. So remember when you walked out of Adelaide and we were like, because we obviously saw the show that you did prior to that against Jackson and stuff. Then you walked out of Adelaide and we're like, what the fuck? What? You can't like double the size.
Yeah, even the people who didn't realize it was me when I walked out, they were still kind of waiting. Like, so I think some of my one of my partner's family members, they like walked out and then they didn't realize that I walked out or something, because I was very different to obviously the show before.
Yeah, way different.
For sure.
And it's like everyone gets excited as well for like the bodybuilding open, like the overall. I remember the guy that was in it, like props to everyone that preps, bro, but like he was like 80 kilos, some older guy. And we're like, oh, fuck, this is not even going to be like a battle he's scoring as.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then you did nationals and then you wrapped up from there, yeah?
Yeah, then we did nationals, and then we finished up from there, because it was just I already had my trips planned to go away, and competing around that was going to be difficult. So we just wrapped it up there, and then I just took some time off. Yeah, especially being open, I wasn't as like the prior year. I was a little bit more eager to try and push maybe for getting the pro card in classic. I was close here, and Australia was really high caliber that year. So I was like, okay, I was keen to maybe do 1 or 2 more shows, but this year I was more so like, look, opens a more of a long road. I don't feel as
Yeah.
urgent. I don't feel as urgent that I need to kind of get a pro card or step up. I was more happy to just rest and maybe try and grow for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different beast, I feel like, when you get to open as well, because like I feel like earning a pro card in open, like, yeah, you can get your pro card, that's sick. But it's like, brother, you're probably not gonna be competitive on a pro stage yet, and you do
Yeah,
need heaps more time.
exactly.
And I feel like it's probably one of the only categories where maybe it's like, yeah, no, not maybe. Like, I feel like it's one of the only categories where, yeah, you're probably gonna need to take time off as soon as you wrap up. Whereas I feel like men's physique classic, like you can probably get away with turning pro and then being like, oh, if you look good enough, it's like, yeah, you can probably step on a pro stage and do okay. Like, especially if you've got the genetics for it. Whereas, again, if you're some fucking genetic freak that's just fucking 130 kilos as an amateur, it's a different kettle of fish, right? But still, it's like it's very hard. So like even just you can just take your time when you turn pro as an open bodybuilder.
Yeah, it's dude, it's a whole new. I mean, it's a whole. It was actually quite a stress lifted off my shoulders, to be honest, because
Yeah.
for so long, I was kind of. I wasn't really expected, but I mean, when people talk about classic, they'll talk about a few names, and you kind of each year, obviously, you're getting older, and I know you shouldn't have that expectation on yourself, but just as an athlete, you kind of do, and
Mm.
comparison is real. So you are in that space of okay, this time's my turn, or when's my next run, or you're gunning for it for some reason before a particular age or time. And
Yeah, for sure.
when that lifted, man, I honestly just felt no urgency whatsoever. I saw now my career being a lot longer and
Mm.
being able to actually enjoy bodybuilding. Bro, I wasn't enjoying bodybuilding in the end. Like I was having to like
Yeah.
I love training legs. I wasn't able to train legs. I was having to pull back on everything and pull back on food. I couldn't get big in the off season, and I had to stay within striking distance. And because I have a really weird height, like I'm not super tall, but I'm tall, and I was like a few points under being able to be 106, 107. And
Ah.
at that weight, I could probably do well in classic and giving myself a little bit more leeway. But my height is so it just doesn't work. The one-on-one just doesn't work. Like my limbs are long enough to be able
Mm.
to look stringy and kind of not fall still in shots that I need to, like a front double or those sort of shots. So it's a really weird cap for me. And the way my body wanted to grow, I needed more room for other things to grow with it that take up more weight, like my legs and stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was getting really difficult, and I was finding myself not enjoying, just going to train and training hard and locking in and using training like I have my whole life for that purpose. So when I switched to bodybuilding, I got this open. I got this newfound kind of love and energy for training and dieting again, and locking in for a purpose which was more for me rather than a weight cap, like a scale weight, right? I'm fucking waking up every day and dictating your progress or your look based on a scale weight, bro. I was looking fucking killer at
Yeah.
110, and then the coach goes, "Oh, we got fucking 9 kilos to lose." I'm like, "Well, I look sick now." Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's like,
Everyone
yeah,
says it.
it's like
Everyone
whatever for
says it when they
sure.
reach like their cap. It's like, why am I doing this? And I was having this conversation with Nicholas Weir the other day, and it's like, man, it's not bodybuilding. I mean, yeah, it's part of it for like classic and whoever wants to do that, but it's just like it's not enjoyable once you're there. Like no one enjoys that. All these Olympians are moving over now because it's like you do it because you enjoy it. You train because you enjoy it. You push it because you enjoy it. You grow because it's like what we like to do, not to year round be so cautious about how much we can grow, how much we can eat because we have to be close to this weight cap we have to hit. And then come to the day, you just sacrifice your look and you just look shit.
yeah, because I think there's a point in case for the guys that still struggle around the weight cap, but genetically they're supposed to be there, right? Like
Mm.
those guys should do the hard things to try and squeeze into that gap because when they're there, they just look like superb. They look sick, right? But when I have these huge legs, this strong point that I can't really expose properly, it becomes I'm self-aware enough to know and I can lower my ego enough to say that that's not my look when I'm at that weight. I
Mm.
don't look as good as those maybe shorter or even super tall like fucking Dashy this year looking gangster, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got that room to fill out the limbs and look absolutely mental and really suit that look still. Whereas for the weight for my fitting, I didn't look as good as those classic boys. I didn't feel like personally, in my opinion, a lot of my shots that where strengths became weaknesses when I had to get to that cap. And I'm self-aware enough to know, you know what, that's not my genetic strong point. So I can move on from that instead of being so attached to classic because it looks better than open and C-bar with followers, blah, 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 right? Like not everybody has those genetics. So just like we get bodybuilding's harder, but people are too scared now to put in the work. Like people forget all those classic boys were bodybuilders prior. So it's like people just want to hide behind classic these days. I think it's because it's a much easier category to fit into and get a placing, right? Than getting up there. But mate, it was intimidating, bro. I was fucking 24 or 23, whatever, and I'm like backstage with these fucking 40-year-old monsters, right? It's intimidating, but I think that's a good thing. It's like, okay, well, this is the next challenge. I'm putting myself in the deep end here.
Yeah,
more rewarding as well,
for sure, bro. And you actually don't become as dependent emotionally on the placing because you're like, if I do my best, like I'm ranking myself against, a lot of maturity here.
Yeah, you see a lot of people as well do classic who shouldn't be doing classic for the sake of not wanting to push it.
Yeah,
bro, just because they're don't even get me worked up, bro. just because you fucking train and you take a bit of test and you can pull a half vacuum doesn't make you classic, right? Actually, classic is a look. Like it's a very specific look. You're born with it or you're not. It's very genetically dependent. And then there's just a full stop there. You can't hard work your way into classic. I've coached natties at fucking 16 that look better than some 30-year-olds pumping juice for 15 years. That look better than classic. That look better than classic. It's like you gotta be really self-aware. And it's like one of those things that I know it's a good entry-level category. I get that. And maybe it is a good like just I want to do a first show. What do I do? Like I'm not as big as a bodybuilder, but you can be a smaller size bodybuilder. Like do juniors, do this, like build your way up in bodybuilding. But I think classic is a very very specific look. And I think if you have it right. You hit the poses, you hit the shots, you have the flow, you have the proportions. It's not like it's confusing. Like we all know what a classic physique looks like.
Yeah. And I feel you know what. Everyone looks forward to open more than anything anyway. I don't know about you, but I get to those
I think it's getting
state
exciting.
shows. Man, I get to those IFBB state shows and I'm sitting there and they're going through classic and I'm just like this. Like, oh, come on, man. Like, how many routines do I have to sit through? Like, and then you get the supers come out and you're like, fuck yeah. Like, here we go. And it's like for fucking 5 minutes.
Let me be honest. I think if I'm honest, I think if there was some guideline or some like borders to qualifying for nationals in classic, it would be a lot more competitive and people would actually be able to find their spot a lot more. But when you open up a national show and the qualifier for that is to just stand on stage, I think you're going to get hundreds of classic competitors. Where if you went to these state shows and you chose top 5, you chose top 10, or you were specific about who was able to compete at the pro qualifier, then I think people would get much more of a reality check because they wouldn't make those numbers and they would get honest feedback from the judges. Hey, you're maybe not for classic. Let's take some time off and grow into bodybuilding or whatever. And you'd get shows, I think, that flow better with where people should be. But when it's just like anybody who stands on stage can be classic and let's load up a show with 300 competitors in one division, it's always going to be messy, right? Because and bodybuilding's soup opens is always going to have potentially less competitors. But I think it's getting way more exciting. Like now that the judges are doing a good job at not rewarding guts being too big, pulling in wastes, pulling vacuums, being aesthetic, like they're much more, they're leaning much more toward like an aesthetic physique now in open than they are, which works really well for me. And that's why I kind of also was eager to make the jump, because I was like, okay, you don't just need to be a mass monster now. Like you don't just need to be a fucking whatever, Nick Walker or Rami or any of these massive
you need that, like
that open was like defined by you can be, you know what I mean? Like when I think it all really shifted when Samson became the O and we were like, that's a open winner. And now you're seeing everybody follow it. Derek hitting fucking vacuums. Everybody's tight up there. Everybody's tight. Jack, Jack at the top of the league. He's the most aesthetic looking bodybuilder out there. Like it's cool that these guys are now the open, right? It's like, okay, cool. You can be like an aesthetic amateur competitor, but you don't have to do classic. Like just take some time to do open. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
can't go to another regional show and hear a fucking another Adele song come on for another classic competitor. It's starting to
I
head in, man.
I think with classic, I think moving forward for the sake of the length of the show, I think if you do open, so you do open class for classic, I think that's you should do routines. I think all the rest of the categories, it's a waste a little bit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
get it. It's like, everyone should get an opportunity to do a routine. But like if you really want to do a routine, you're not going to give a fuck if you have to do open to do a routine.
for sure. I actually totally agree with that. It's like yeah, like you should almost have to kind of earn the routine a little bit,
Mm,
like you do at big pro shows, right? If you get in those first lineups, okay, you're gonna get routines, and it's like
mm,
I think because it's what people want to see. People want to see good. I actually don't think it. I don't think it adds any value to the sport. Uh, the like public that are paying for the shows to watch like average routines.
Especially 60.
Yeah, and there should be more. There should be more emphasis on the physique. Like, come out if you have a good rig, great. If you don't, get some judges' feedback. Go back to the gym. Go back to dieting. Work on the rig. I don't think dancing on stage is going to improve that at all. So,
No.
I think save that for when you're a top competitor and you've got eyes on you, and that might be a bit of a differentiating kind of like metric to your placing, and
Mm,
run it up when you can handle that heat. But until
you're
then, I
ready.
think it's a good idea. Like just all the routines can get a little bit like distracting. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, Simon in Milan, one of our clients, there was no routines there at all for the whole show.
Well, same when I did Korea, there was no routines.
Oh,
Yeah.
no routines as well. There you
Oh,
go.
it was like walk out and then you
Yeah.
like have 15 seconds or 10 seconds or something.
Yeah,
And then you
okay.
walk off.
Go for a little intro and then you walk out. So it's like kind of prejudging. And then they call you out after that, which is great. Show your three best shots, which is pretty
Yeah.
well what it was. And then it was like walk out, and then they call out who they want in top in the.
I'll tell you one thing. That's the one good thing that I think natural federations do is they get you to come out, you do a 30-second routine, you just walk out, you walk to a spot, you can walk to the corner, you walk to the other corner, you do a couple poses, and then you're off.
And
And I
exactly,
think
yeah.
the one good thing that they do where you can just everyone gets a little bit of stage time, it's nothing too long. Your family gets photos, does whatever, especially in an amateur sort of situation. Your family gets a few photos, you get a few photos, like, and then that's it. It's just like, let's just judge you purely
Yeah,
on comparisons.
exactly. And then the show runs on time, and nobody's backstage stressed running late. It's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Much better idea.
But what's the plan for you now, mate? How are we looking? Off
So,
season?
yeah. So the plan right now is well, I didn't have a plan, and then I knew I wanted to do potentially season C. That was like where I was locked in because I'm off season and I'll probably do season C. But at the moment, I think I'm just more so getting a routine, meal plans locked in, training plans locked in, everything in regards to bodybuilding is now locked in a routine and the lifestyle around it. And I think it's just let's see how kind of weeks 2 through to kind of 6 go here, and then make a decision based on my body being back into it properly because my body responds quite quickly to routine and consistency with my diet. If I just switch up a few meals, eat the same thing every day, and I lock into a training program, within a week or two, I'll start to see things flowing within the physique. So when I start to see that, I'll be able to lock in a show. I mean, look, we only have 2 shows, so I'm either going to do season A or season C. But I think ideally for me to bring something big enough that's impactful enough, it's probably going to have to be season C.
Hmm.
You never know, right? I got new methods, new ways this year. I got some new tricks up my sleeve that I might be able to pull out if I did an earlier show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you did mention, have you started with a new coach? Confirmed?
Yeah, I was gonna.
I
Before
don't know. Well, this is the thing. I
I,
don't know if you want to say who it is, because if I don't know if this is any easier for you, I'm gonna have this podcast come out on Monday.
yeah, it's
Or
fine.
I can push it, or I can
Yeah.
push it to the follow,
No,
or
no,
I can
no,
push it to the following week.
no. I made you guys wait so that I could say.
Yeah, you did say
Before
you
you
said
say
post
it,
Olympia.
How about we just like have 2 guesses and then
Two
I'll.
guesses.
yeah,
All
well,
right, fuck.
before you jumped on the pod, me and James were saying like, "Fuck, who do you reckon it is?" We're putting bets on who we reckon we've
Okay,
chosen.
sick. Yeah, I want to hear. I want to hear.
So, James, who did you say? Who do you reckon?
Admittedly, I was sort of taking the piss in the sense of just being like you're a fucking big unit, but I was saying Milos,
Okay, and what else?
I said Patrick.
Patrick Tua.
Tua.
Okay,
We
so
both wrong.
Yeah, you're both wrong.
We're both wrong.
So I'm with the king, the technician, Chris Aceto.
No way.
There you go.
That's
That's
good.
exciting. That's
Yeah.
mad.
Which is pretty fucking sick, man. Honestly, it was a bit of a I'm not even gonna be around the bush, bro. It was a bit of a happy day for me, bro. Like I've read all of his books, and I've been following him since I was like, my favorite bodybuilder in all of bodybuilding is Jay Cutler. So he obviously, I mean, very renowned, coach and client relations there, Jay Cutler and Chris Aceto. And I think I've been following him for so long. Any method that ever worked for me in the off-season of prep was something that I took from his book or from his methodologies, whether it be online or from a podcast.
Yeah.
He coaches, I mean, you're familiar with that. I mean, Derek Lunsford, right? We got Andrew Jack, we got Ramon Dino, we got Ali from Men's Physique. I mean, he's got he's the king, right? At the moment, he's a G. So, and he's always been the G, right? Always. So,
yeah.
I think, but if you've followed how he coaches, he's very, he's super unorthodox. He's pretty well got no set in stone kind of formula the way he coaches. It's very by the eyes, very intuitive, and he trusts himself, and that really, really is something that aligns well with me because I can change bro in 30 minutes, right? And I think I need somebody who can see that and who trusts themselves and isn't afraid to do something a little bit unorthodox if they have to. And if you follow his athletes, like Matt Gregor even, and you followed his athletes in the past that he's coached, a lot of what he would do is just totally kind of like, let me look at you, go do this with no explanation, no need for a scientific evaluation or breakdown, no need for an hour Loom video explaining it. It's very much just literally like an email or a message that has zero reason. So simple. I mean, it's so simple, and I think that is something that really will work for me because I can get a little bit stressed under pressure in terms of needing to be so perfect. Because I'm honestly, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not a perfect guy. I'm not an overly OCD, obsessive, organized guy. So in a prep condition where in the past I've had either lots of either spreadsheets or times or exact ways to do things in the moment, that can really ramp me up from a stress perspective. And then somebody who already has a really fast metabolism, my body starts to really, really shift fast.
Yeah.
So I think an approach, it's been about a week. It's already been really great, just having just very simple ways of doing things. And my body's already responding really well. And I think the less stress from the coach's place is going to do me really well. And I just think he's got the eye, man. I mean, how many physiques has he seen in all different kind of lights? And I think that's what I need, especially if I'm going to take this to the next level and really go all in. And somebody who just trusts working with someone that's a little bit maybe, needs a sprinkle of a McMuffin here and there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's true. Did you just reach out to him when you were like, you know what, I need to make a bit of a change?
Yeah. So because I was like, okay, I'll just put my feelers out. I wasn't even sure because I wasn't even sure about a new coach, and I thought, okay, well, what's ever worked? I kind of did that kind of a background check on mine. I think, well, all of this has worked. Even in preps, I listened to the last prep I trained exactly how he had his other athletes training. Like I did a deep dive into the training, training methodologies of Jay Cutler, etc., and what he was doing, the splits he was doing. I started running a very similar training split, and I honestly put that to the reason as to, of course, like my coaching with Dean was great, and my time with him was great, and he was a big part of everything from a prescription standpoint, food and being a coach, right? So that helped. But I do think what I was doing outside of that from a personal standpoint of training, how I was doing my volume, because it wasn't as strict as I was in previous years with like spreadsheets and stuff. I was a bit more relaxed. Was like a Aceto style. So I went, okay, well, this is a fucking long shot, but I'm just going to message him and see that how it goes. I messaged him and he was responding to me a little bit, right? Because he's super busy. And I don't know, again, how closely people follow him, but he's super not like a socials guy or like a paragraph dude. So
yeah,
it was kind of like, okay, yep, what show, this, that. He said some funny things, like he's not really into He doesn't really know when shows are amateurs. You just tell him the show, and he's just good at preps, right? So I'm just kind of laughing. We're having a bit of just like casual dialogue, and then he wasn't super really answering like slots, applications, coaching, right? He wasn't really on that wave. So I said, okay, well, let's throw a Hail Mary here. I'll send him some photos, see if that gets a bit more attention. Sent him my photos. At that time, I was about 125. That was post comp. Said, this is me right now, and that's what I actually said. I said, this is me right now. And then he kind of sparked up a little bit, wrote me a paragraph, and was like, hey, man, you're actually in really good shape. Can you just repeat everything you said before? I wasn't really. I said, yeah,
invested.
Okay. Yeah. He goes, I get so many messages, man, people that think they're going to be, Mr. Olympia next year or whatever. And it's very hard to filter through. I said, of course, we had a bit more of a chat. And then he was pretty keen. He said, message me after Olympia, message me after Olympia, message me after Olympia. So I waited. I was just checking in. And then after Olympia, I mean, he had fucking all of the top placing. So I was like, great, this is going to be harder now. Right?
Yeah.
So
he's going to charge me double.
So I messaged back with some more photos, and it was really serious. And luckily, he maybe still recognized me or had me in the back of his mind, because he was telling me to message him after Olympia. And then we started from there. He said, cool, this is the thing. Sort this out for me, like the investment into the coaching, and then here's my email. Send me, dude, super basic stuff, right? I mean, we're so privileged in Australia, and as amateurs having the coaches we do, like even you guys, what you do with your clients, absolutely phenomenal stuff with like the looms, the detailed spreadsheets, the daily breakdowns, the reasoning, the explanations as to why you're doing things, answering clients' questions. That is not how these guys get treated at the top.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
like, I mean, like literally, the plan is it's hilarious, bro. Like, it's like how it's written. No training, so he doesn't do training. So I handle my own training, but he's super intuitive, right? He'll look at me and go, overtrain, don't train tomorrow, and that's it, right? No reason why. Do some more, do a couple more sets tomorrow. Like, that's literally how good the eye is, and you notice, you see the changes.
Does he give you does he tell you what to do for training in the sense of like, all right, these are your weak points, do this? Or does he literally not even tell you anything? So I just go train, bro.
Yeah, but so again, right, I'm early days, right? So I'm building a relationship, and I'll see how he coaches me. And I assume he's going to need to get to know his athletes before he invests in them maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think it's from the response I've had so far, I could be wrong, but I think it's more so just going to be you send photos every 2 days. That's how it works, right? So
okay.
Every 2 days photos, and it's all just messaged, like the meal plan. Training plan's not there. I just told him the split, so he knows when I'm kind of training. But even then, he won't know. I have to tell him if I'm training or not. And he'll just say, yeah, this or that, or change this, or add this tomorrow, or the next 2 days do this, or eat this before you train. It's just very much a few points before the next 2 days of photos. It's literally, he literally like pitches you to death. Like, it's just pitches, and then a few points, and then follow back with pitches the next day. And as you get close to the show, that'll be daily or multiple day photos, and it's literally the meals or the days could change, like that.
Yeah.
Which, again, really, if we go back to what I said, really works with how my physique responds quickly to things. So I think it's really cool. It's not fancy, right? Like, we're used to being coached now, but I think it's just like old school, and it works for some people.
Yeah, but you know what, bro? Sometimes simple like that's good. I feel like the looms, and I was actually having this discussion with a competitive client this morning in their check-in, and I was just saying how, like, man, I did a loom for him, and it was like a 2.5 minute loom. And I was like that, I never do that. And I was like, look, to be honest with you, I'm like, this is a lifestyle client, a little bit different. I'm like, I'd probably try and teach you things and to go a little bit longer, whatever it may be. But I'm like, as a competitor in the off season, I'm just like, man, we don't really need to change anything. It's like, I can answer your questions that you have based on this, but there's not much that really needs to be done, to be honest with you. And it's like, that's how I like being coached. Just simple. Yeah. Just tell me what to do and I'll fucking do it. Like, that's it.
I just get so, like, because I still compose. Why I have a select amount of people that will coach competitively if I know them, but otherwise I won't. But when I was doing it for a while, man, amateurs get so like caught up, bro, on like expecting specific deliverables from their coaches in terms of like, oh, if the video is under 5 minutes, then now I'm justifying the price. Or if you're not telling me this and this and this, well, like, well, you should be. It's like, well, not really, bro. Like, just like you're paying for the result and also, the actions, the to-dos from the coach. But I think there's a really, like, there's a lot of ego in competitive bodybuilding. And I think it is nice to, it's not like it's any cheaper working with all these different coaches, but it's nice to just be like, okay, cool. Like, for example, in the plan, you'll see, so even when it comes to macros, but I don't get macros or calories. And it's like in the plan, it'll be like 200 grams of pasta, maybe like 250 grams of chicken, and it'll say like 300 mils of sauce. But like, what sauce? Any sauce. Like, it's just like, but whereas
okay,
the coach
just
sauce, like,
get
this sauce with these macros, and it's on there. And if you want to swap that sauce, match the macros.
Yeah,
we know how it works, right? But
yeah,
at a level that you could say me or other competitors are at, like, these coaches know that doesn't matter, right? It really actually, if I have 5 more grams of carb in my sauce versus your prescribed one, I'm sorry, but it's not fucking changing my week. Like, it's not. And when you have somebody that trusts that intuitiveness of the athlete, you can't do that with everyone. Don't get me wrong. You can't coach a new client and be like, 200 mils of sauce here, like, use seasonings as you want, because they'll overdo it and then they won't get the look that you want. I get that, but it is really interesting just to see how much trust there is and how basic the plans are and how simple the responses are. It's fun, bro. It's cool, but I'm just happy that I was just super grateful that he was willing to take me on, considering how high in demand he would probably be. And he even said, I don't really coach people. Initially, that's what he said when I was messaging him. So, other than obviously those top guys.
Yeah.
See, so that was really cool, man. I'm just super excited. I'm super grateful. And I think there's something to also being an athlete and having respect for the person you're working for. So whether what you're prescribed, like, when you get a new client or you get someone that really looks up to you and you give them a training plan or a meal plan and they work really hard, even over a client who's doing the same thing that's maybe giving a little bit less intensity, you'll find that the person kind of giving their all to every step, to every cardio, to every set, because at the back of their mind, they really want to impress you because they look up to you and they respect you. I think that in and of itself is enough of a drive to really, like, push someone forward, despite the plan maybe not being perfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so true as well. Because and I think that whole thing of, like, looking up to your coach is, like, super important as well. Like, if he's someone that you look forward to, but at the same time, I feel like some people do eventually lose that, I guess, that spark for their coach. But, like, I think that's just a long-term thing. Like, when you're working with someone
for been for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
You've got to stick it out. And I think definitely don't just choose coaches based on looking up to them, because it's not like, not like Chris is a 150 kilo jacked bodybuilder. So you can't
just a coach.
Look up to them for that reason.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence and make sure that the coach gets results, etc., and that you fit with them from a value perspective. But yeah, there's lots that come to it. So, I mean, even going back to your question specifically, because you were asking me what I'm going to do, and I didn't really have a clear idea. His response to what we're going to do has literally just been like, in 2 or 3 more sets of photos, I'll tell you what you're doing. So I don't really know. So maybe in 2 sets of photos, he goes, I think you can do well in April, or maybe he goes, I want you to do September. So I'm not really sure, but I'm just kind of leaving it in his hands, which is
how it should be, really.
With me, yeah.
Pretty cool. It's like exciting.
Yeah, it is.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it is a little bit. And I'll say, but I mean, it should be soon. I mean, 2 or 3 sets of photos is only like, 8-ish, 10-ish days away. So I should know soon.
Yeah. I was going to say, are you sick of taking photos every 2 days?
No, not really, bro. Actually, I think it's. Really? I think it's. I didn't used to like that, but I don't think I liked. I don't like taking photos at specific times of the day before or after meals. That gets a little bit annoying to me. But I guess you got to do that. You got to do shit that you don't like, whatever. But I think which you guys is not too bad, man. It kind of keeps me in routine now. Again, like, I think everybody needs accountability. Everybody needs a coach of some sort. And I think everybody should invest in that for either their professional career or being an athlete or aspiring to something great, because it does hold you accountable. Like, I wouldn't be taking photos every 2 days for myself. And I think knowing that I have the photos in 2 days I'm not going to half-ass my training session, bro, because
Yeah.
he's going to look at me in 2 days and maybe no, or
Yeah.
I'm not going to mess up on my sleep or
Yeah.
skip my morning and send them late or whatever. I'm not going to do any of those things because I think the accountability is there. So it's actually holding me in quite a good routine at the moment, I think,
Yeah.
and keeping
It's like
in the forefront.
it's like that. I'm not going to eat off plan because my check-in's tomorrow.
Yeah, bro. Like,
because I look like shit.
yeah, like he sent me
Yeah.
the plan, and it was like
Yeah.
it was rough, maybe like 10 a.m. my time or something, and I had none of the food. But that day I had so much other shit to do. But that day I just sporadically came up with all the food, made it all, prepped it all, got it all in and be up before the end of the day because I knew there was only one more day before
Sending
sending.
photos.
So it's almost
Yeah.
like it got me
You
into.
have to.
Not everyone would do that, but I was, I'm taking it quite seriously. So yeah, the 2 day thing, it works. It's working at the moment. It's cool. It's whatever.
It's good.
Will he run that through the whole off season?
Yeah, he literally like his method is just he calls it just I'm just going to pitch you to death. so you do so and it'll be for as many shows. So I'm kind of signed on with him like for a 12-month period, I think, and within that we've kind of got the 2 shows set in mind and maybe some shows in between that if he wants to do them. And I think the process doesn't change. I don't think it's like an off-season protocol to an on-season protocol. I think it's literally just this is what you do throughout the off-season, throughout the on-season, and you just get changes every few days, and you just keep rolling on. And I don't assume it would be too much. Like you couldn't do that if you're sending these Loom videos or adjusting apps for people. It would get quite, just overwhelming. Yeah. But for somebody, I think that just needs to check a message or an email. And I haven't asked him. Like he sends us okay. Like it's not really. I don't think it would be too hard for the guys that he's coaching at their level. I think it would be like him logging in at specific times, looking at the photos, doing what he intuitively knows to do without having to look into macros, calories. They just play around with rice and potatoes pretty well. So I think it's not too hard for him to keep that up through an off season or a prep. Again, guessing right. I'm fucking a week in. I don't know.
But yeah, true. You never know. It's so true, eh?
Yeah,
fuck, that's exciting.
Cool, it's totally different to what I'm used to, but it's super exciting, man. And it's just giving me some more drive. Like, fuck it, if it goes well or not, it's something that I can tick off, and I was pretty stoked about, especially when I've been a young bodybuilder for a long time, looking up to someone like him. Even just messaging him and him having some input on my physique and showing a bit of belief is totally good enough for me, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, he gets the results like clearly. So,
for.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll be good fun, especially that first show as well, to sort of see how you
Yeah, no, right. It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit like oh shit, but
yeah. But I think that sort of wraps up time. What's the time now? 12:30 pretty much. So
12:30 for us, 12 o'clock for him.
Oh yeah, but
I always forget you're half an hour behind.
Yeah, true. The Adelaide time difference.
Yeah, that's 11:57.
Yeah. But essentially, Cam, thanks for jumping on. Anything you want to plug? So obviously you got your new brand, your coaching business. Plug away if there's anything.
Coaching. Just if you want to get fucking jacked, just hit the link in my bio and apply. And the drink, look, it's probably not in all these states yet, but if you're in Adelaide, smash a charge, have a good session. Let me know what you think of it. But otherwise, I'm cool. Thanks, for having me on, boys. I really appreciate it. And then you guys are doing a great job. And that's all I really have to say.
Thanks for jumping on. And thanks for everyone for listening. Catch you guys in the next one.
Goodbye.